A lot of different companies have had some hilarious April Fool's pranks, whether that be the Google Gnome, or that time when Pornhub became Cornhub, as well as a bunch of other stuff. So let's just jump right into this list with some of the best. NPR reports a story where a man from Florida is awarded $37,500 after cops mistake donut crumbs for meth. I know what you're probably thinking. It's not really that crazy of a headline for an April Fool's joke, so here's where it gets interesting. They crafted a long and detailed story that depicts this ridiculous situation. I mean, the amount of time and effort that had to have gone into this story is just astounding. And for that, I've got to at least give them a little bit of credit. Have you ever wanted to go to a religious community to smoke weed? Well, apparently it's reported by the Washington Post that Indiana had a first church of cannabis approved after the Religious Freedom Law was passed. You know what? Enough said. Really. Have you ever thought, I like my windows, but I just wish they weren't so gosh darn fragile? Well, Wired made an article about a tech institute in Stockholm making what they call transparent wood. I guess the idea that they're trying to sell is that you can use them as your home windows. I don't really know if that would be too terrible of an idea, I just don't like the idea of having transparent splinters. Alright, well, wood-made windows may not sound practical, but what about camouflage-based hair color? On April 1st, 2016, Daily Mail reported of a supposed trend going on where women were going out of their way to try to match their hair color to their favorite pairs of jeans. You know, part of me actually sort of wants this to not be a joke. In my opinion, the styles shown actually look pretty cool. Although it doesn't look practical for most people, so I guess you could say you'd need to have the right jeans. If you're a gamer, you're probably aware of the often expensive special editions games will have. They typically include the game as well as a bunch of merch or DLC to make the cost worth it for some folks. However, there were reports of one bundle that's just absolutely ludicrously expensive at
$1 million.
Dubbed the Super Dangerous Wad Wad edition of the game. The supposed $1 million pack includes the best edition of the game, a Lamborghini, spy training, space flight, and more. I think the only thing that could be more funny than the idea of this package being real is that, when totaled, it's actually a bad deal considering the real cost would be closer to $600,000. Have you ever thought to yourself that police raids are just inefficient, using battering rams to break down doors? Well, Telegraph UK thinks so, as they reported of a police department using chainsaws to break through doors. The idea of this probably wouldn't sound so bad to me if I didn't think that every police officer with this opportunity would go all Ash Williams on me for smoking a doobie. Would you be an exterminator? Well, one April Fool's Day, NDTV made an article on how the Pakistan's Peshawar announced a small cash reward for killing rats. Doing a quick Google search reveals that no, it's probably not worth it. Still an interesting proposition though. Mashable says that a woman in Missouri proposed an important law ruling that fiscal and physical shouldn't be mixed up. You know, I'm really curious as to how she would plan to enforce this law. Although, if a sentence like, "the horse raced past the barn fell" makes grammatical sense, maybe we should start making more laws. Last year, Mirror UK said that a cat was given a vodka shot to save its life. It details a story where this supposed remedy is for brake fluid poisoning. Well, you know what they say, a shot of vodka a day keeps the doctor away, or something like that. ABC News once reported a story where dogs can fly planes. They didn't craft any crazy story beyond that, but wow, look at this hilariously faked footage. The only thing I don't understand is why they went with flying dogs instead of flying pigs. I mean, swine flu after all. Oh yeah, one last thing. You may or may not have noticed by now, but all of that actually happened.